You're doing something really cool. EVs are cool and data's cool. So you're combining two really wonderful, interesting parts of my curiosity. For our listeners who might not know, who's ChargeScape? How would you explain your company to a listener?
Yeah, I would describe ChargeScape as the connective tissue between electric vehicles and the power grid. And really, what we offer is a software platform that connects to all the electric vehicles out there for the brands that we cover and provides data in real time into our central algorithm that is then used to predict consumer charging patterns, but also takes data in from power grids and optimizes EV charging with the consumer's consent, with the driver's consent, to deliver the most grid-friendly charging, but also deliver charging that's going to be lowest cost for the driver, for the consumer, ultimately to save EV drivers money.
Does your software live on, since you're partnered with OEMs, does it live on the vehicle side? Does it live on the charging infrastructure side? Where does it live? And then how does it all come together and connect?
Yeah, so it lives in the cloud. It lives in the ChargeScape cloud. And the way that we sort of disseminate our software and the signals and flow of data is onto the vehicle itself. So as you mentioned, we work with automakers. We are a joint venture of BMW, Ford, Honda, and Nissan. They're investors in ChargeScape. We work with their vehicles, but we also have contractual relationships with other auto manufacturers, including Tesla and Stellantis, which makes Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Alfa Romeo vehicles. And it all works the same way. We obtain data directly from the electric vehicle. So every EV has got a miniature SIM card inside of it. The same thing that connects your cell phone to a 4G or 5G network, your EV has got that. And that allows us to obtain data from the vehicle and then also occasionally send an optimized charging schedule to the vehicle to save the consumer money.
You and I know this. Utility rates differ depending on the county, the city, location. Is all that data going in there so the consumer of a BMW, a Ford, a Honda, a Nissan, a Stellantis, they can make a informed decision of where they might want to charge because one might be more affordable than the other?
That's right. As you said, optimal charging differs a lot depending on which part of the country you live in and what part of the grid you're on. And even within a certain part of the country or the power grid, the best charging time is probably going to vary according to the hour, the day, the season. It's a lot of complexity for an EV driver to manage. And what we're trying to do at ChargeScape is, on behalf of the automotive partners that work with us, make the EV charging experience as simple as possible for the EV driver. No one wants to think about optimizing their EV charging. They just want to plug in and return to a fully charged vehicle, and ideally have that charge be delivered at the lowest possible cost. And so what our algorithm does is combine all that data from national parts of the grid, local parts of the grid, data on price, renewable energy availability, local constraints on a specific part of the grid, like maybe a transformer or a substation, things that the typical EV driver doesn't want to think about and shouldn't have to think about. That goes into our algorithm. We're also getting data from the vehicle. We're getting its battery level when you plug it in. We're getting the consumer preference for how much juice they want to add to the vehicle, right? Do you want your battery charged to 100%? Do you want it 90%, 80%? The consumer, the driver, might also set what we call like a departure time or a ready by time of, hey, charge my car ASAP, or, I just plugged it in at home and I just need it to be ready by 7 o'clock the next morning so I can go to work. So all of that goes into our algorithm, and that algorithm then determines the optimal charging schedule for that specific vehicle, which we then pass back on to the vehicle to charge in that way, in a way that is going to save the driver as much money as possible and ideally also deliver a more friendly charge for the grid.